What's up, guys? Welcome to another week. Been here for about an hour and some change. Got the confidence built back up to do another brush fire. Fingers crossed. See how it does. But we're back up on the OG clearing. I'm done with burning brush on a slant. So, as you can see, I got a blue fire barrel. That's for when I initially got the property. I was like, oh, I'll burn all the brush in there. Yeah, no, way too small. I need something big. So that will just stay on the property for future burn barrel adventures. But you notice I have my off-road trailer. If some of you guys might not know this about me, I have another YouTube channel called OJ Cause where I do like overlanding, camping, vehicle-based camping, stuff like that. Well, that is a sleeper camper, but we don't sleep in it because I have a bigger family, 2 big dogs. That is our base camp. So our kitchen, I have 26 gallons of fresh water, an actual water pump, so pressurized water, all our gear. So yeah, that's base camp. It's got the awning, it's got the shower on the other side. I've got hot water. Yeah, so I got quite the setup there for the family. When I go solo, I just go in my car, right? And I have everything I need there. Anyway, enough on that. You want to see more on that, go to OJ Cause and check out my other YouTube channel on vehicle camping. It's a lot of fun. I love the hobby, and I figure might as well record it while I do it. This channel I love doing. This is my new baby, and yeah, it's just the process of me going through the changes of this property to build it up for a homestead. So that is parked there. I finally got it out of my driveway. I was getting nasty letters from the HOA, and all I needed was this driveway to just be complete because I didn't want to create divots and all that bringing this bad boy in. I got Caleb here on the property. He's over there, down there in the clearing. But let me show you what it looks like now after about a week and a half since the extended fire. It's definitely rained quite a bit. We've probably gotten, since this all burned up, we probably got, I would say, 10 inches of rain, maybe more. And it's rained like every other 2 days, and when it rains, it comes down. But it's definitely soaking into the earth. Doesn't look as burnt, I guess, as it initially did, which, I get it. The other news is this. We actually met up with a builder this past Thursday. I came out after work. Janice met me out here. He finally got here. And I just asked basic questions. Hey, where would the house be best located? And just things like that, as far as pricing and what drives the price up and what can I do to help. And bottom line, to make a long story short, he pretty much said that right here where I'm standing, so the fire's in the middle of the circle. I've got the roundabout that I thought I was going to have. Well, he's saying that the house would be best served right here, right pretty much on this edge of the roundabout as it goes, right before it goes to the gravel. So all level space. He's saying that if you want to save a lot of money, try to build on an already flat surface or flat-ish surface. When it starts to dip down, that's a lot of extra money added, which I can understand. You're pushing dirt, you're building retaining walls, things like that. So we're going to try to stay away from it. I think there's plenty of room in this area right here for a house. Eventually, I'm gonna pace out maybe an 80 by 80 square, just to kind of have a base of where the house would be and how much space it would take. But that's in the future. We just wanted to get him out early just so that we can get our minds kind of geared for that process. And to try to figure out when we should start the process if we're planning on building, middle of next year or late next year, whatever. But yeah, I got a lot of good information from the builder. This is our second builder that we've talked to. So, you know, we're doing our research. He did say that if I want to save a lot of money, I need to clear these trees, get the roots out, which, you know, I'm kind of a pro at that already. Just kidding. That'll be soon enough. What I want to do is I want to measure like an 80 by 80 just to be safe. Most of the houses that we've seen are like 70 by, you know, 50 or, you know, 60 by 80 or something like that. So I'm just going to do an 80 by 80 just to be like on the safe side, and then see where it lays and where the front of the house would be. Maybe it's like right here where I started my trail. Maybe if it faces this way towards the gravel. If that's the case, then the rest of the trail, maybe it starts over here, you know, and it continues, whatever. We'll figure that out later. But one thing that he did say was that if we push it closer to the roundabout or to this flatter surface here where I have this fire burning, if we push it closer to here, then it's going to eat up space of the roundabout. So what he recommended is to take the gravel, original gravel driveway, and push it out this way, come around, and then come up. Pretty much the roundabout is coming back just on the other side of the fire instead of where my trailer is, type of thing. It is, you know, a little bit after noon. We got a lot done. We actually went around and raked piles of pieces of wood, and it helped level it off a little bit, and we just threw the little pieces of roots and branches and just everything that's around here. Went around the whole circle, took care of some space over there, came back just to keep an eye on the fire because of course now I am paranoid, which rightfully so. But the fire looks pretty good. There's some burning still going on with the bigger trunks, which is great. I need those gone. But while I'm here and I'm kind of waiting, I brought my computer back so I can do some editing, kind of kill two birds with one stone. But I wanted to show you something which I think is pretty cool anyway. Whew. Well, so this is my Lexus. I set it up to go camping. I told you about my other YouTube channel. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. But how it pertains to this channel and my property and, you know, right now being off grid is I have a fridge, which to me is a big plus. I can keep extra water in here, keep it cold, keep my Gatorades, keep snacks, keep food, all that good stuff. So I've had this fridge connected to the vehicle and in the vehicle the whole time, probably for over a month now. Now, yes, when I have to take the whole family out, I have to take the fridge out. I have a seat here and a seat right behind this seat. So it's 3-row seating. So I wanted to explain this because I got sent a battery to test out and to use. And being off grid here on the property, it's a perfect time to show you guys. So let me go to the other side. So here on the other side, this is the driver's side. Driver's side seat right here. Back seat I took out, and then the 3rd-row seat I took out, and I made a platform. This side is where I sleep. Oh, so good. 0 sugar, which is great. Okay, so this side is where I sleep. Well, underneath is where I installed the lithium battery. Let me put that there and lift this up. So this is my setup. Lithium sent me a 165 amp hour battery, and they also sent me a DC to DC charger, which means that when I turn on the vehicle starter battery charges this battery. Then when I turn the vehicle off, the DC to DC charger stops taking life and power out of the starter battery, and this doesn't drain the battery, my starter battery. So essentially when I first got this, I hooked up the fridge and I could go about 10 days without starting the vehicle, without any charge, 10 days out of this 165 amp hour battery running the fridge, which I think was amazing. Well, then about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, LITime sent me their solar panel, their hood solar panel for the GX460. If you've never heard of LITime, check out their website. They have all types of hood mounted solar panels for all types of vehicles. But this is a 100-watt solar panel that connects to, I can either connect it to the starter battery or I can connect it to my auxiliary battery. In this case, I have it connected to my auxiliary battery to charge it up while the vehicle is stationary. Now, with that said, once I connected the solar panel to the battery, I've been able to double that life, which means that now I can keep this vehicle, I can go out camping or stay here on the property for 20 days straight. And as long as I have some kind of sun, which again, in the last 3 weeks, it's been a lot of raining, it's been gloomy and cloudy, but I've been able to get enough sun. I've only gone down about 5% per day, which I think is actually pretty cool. Well, how it pertains to me here at the property is now I am able to bring my vehicle, now that the driveway is done, I can stay out here, have a fridge, I have my camping stuff with me, so if I need to eat, all I need to do is remember to bring food. I can cook it here. What's also great is that when LITime sent me this battery, not only did they send me the DC to DC charger, but they sent me a 3,000 watt inverter. Let me show you that. Here it is, 3,000 watt inverter. And again, company's called LITime. It looks like it's pronounced LITime, but it's LITime because all their products are lithium batteries. Kind of a play on words. But this thing has 4 120 volt plugs. I have a USB-C, I have a USB-A, and yeah, I can do a lot of things with this. So for example, when I need to bring my DeWalt tools out here that are all battery powered, I can bring the charger and charge up batteries while I'm working. Anyway guys, I thought I'd share that with you. I think it's pretty cool that now I'm able to eventually use all this. Here's the last thing that is going to be shown throughout the process of me building up this property. Once I get here into my clearing, I drop down to 2 bars. If I go all the way to the end of the finger to where I cleared, where my orchard is going to be, I go down to 1 bar. And at that point, I can't make phone calls, I can't text. Like, I have to walk this way towards the road to be able to text. There was this other company that reached out, company called High Boost, and it's a cell phone booster. Let me show you what it looks like. So I've got this little guy plugged in, and it's a 12 volt plug-in that I plug into the front of the vehicle. Then when I want to use it, I put this antenna up, and it just comes up and it rotates up. And with just that antenna up and the 12 volt plugged in, that's all it takes, I instantly get 1 more to 2 more bars. It's really cool. So now when I go down there to work, I'm gonna start bringing the vehicle down there, and if something happens, some kind of an emergency, well, all I have to do is have that ready to go, and I'll be able to make phone calls, send texts, and it'll just go right through. That's the little spiel on my little setup. But now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna edit and wait for this fire to kind of stop. And this is how the setup looks when I daily drive it. I have this to protect it because sometimes I put the chainsaw and stuff back there. But I've got the mats for the dogs. I have my SUV tent. I have my mattress that I lay out in this space here. Middle is here. And actually, I have enough string that maybe I'll just do the ends. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. All right. Put it through the little eyelid. Actually, I've been coming from underneath. I did the middle over there, but I think I'm just gonna do the ends. I think that's a smarter move. So put it through the eyelid, and then I'm just gonna run it on itself all the way through that little loop, and then now it just kind of stays in place. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it around the tree. You wanna go as high as you can. I wonder, for it to be straight, it would need to go somewhere over here, but it's not gonna be straight. So we're just gonna use this. No, always dress up your rope, your nuts. Just makes it look cleaner, and it'll be easier to take apart once it's time to take it down. Now what I'm doing here is just bringing it around the tree as high as it'll go. Take this string here, loosen it up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna make a little knot on itself. Yeah. My fingers will come through. All right, so you see, so you see that, just made a little knot. So now I'm gonna put this string, pushing it that way towards the tree, and this stays in place. So if you make this knot, and all you're doing is turning it on itself, grabbing and push, and pulling it through. So now when I push this way, it'll come on, it'll become tight. But if I'm holding it this way and push this way, it'll come loose. So you don't want it to come loose. So if you do it the wrong way, you'll know, because when you're going towards whatever you're trying to tie down, it'll come loose. So you kind of learn from practicing, I guess. So now, once I have the loop, I'm gonna put this string through it. And now I'm gonna cinch it on itself. And I can make this as tight as I want. Trucker's hitch. Had to learn how to do it. It took me probably 3 attempts watching my buddy at work. And then I started getting it consistent. And for tents or tarps or little shelters that you might make, it's a good knot to have, because when it's time to go, nothing is so cinched down. I literally just pull on this, it comes loose, pull on this knot, and then I can take it apart. So that's what's cool about this certain knot. There we go. Cinch it down, do a little U. I don't know if you can see this, but once I bring it as tight as I want it, these 3 points right here where the line is going through, and this rope here, I pinch it down, make a little U, and then bring this string in, and that will cinch it down. And then what I do is I bring it over the top, and then I just make an overhand knot to kind of cinch it in place. Cinch it in place. All right, this is what I have so far. Not bad. And then what I'll do is probably stake down the 4 corners so it's at an angle so that rain can kind of come off it. If I had a long enough string, I could have done an A-frame from this tree to that tree, and tarped it over, kind of like almost like a TP or an A-frame. But I don't have that long of a string from this tree to that tree over there. So 4 truckers hitches. It's pretty flat at the top, but that's all right. Maybe I could just lower one and the rain will, you know, have an easier time instead of pooling right in the middle. Because if it pools right in the middle, then we're gonna have to start over, do something different. Now, I've gotten all this string and all this little rope from tents that I've bought throughout the years. You know, they come with the cheapest tie downs and, you know, they work, but I've collected them. Never throw your stuff away. You never know when you'll use it again. Over here in that, dress it up through the eyelid on itself. Yeah, this thing looks like it's gonna hold water. Maybe I can put something here. All right. Let's see what I have in my camper. I know I've got tent poles. Right there in the center. All right, well, there it is. Got my little tarp, protect my stuff. Pretty big. I've got trucker hitches on the top, and then I just kind of staked the corners down, except for this corner. Obviously, this will be the entry. I have to clean up all this down here, kind of make it level, but it's all good. But yeah, now I can store all my stuff here and not have to worry about tarping it like that, which I've been doing since I've started leaving stuff here. But yeah, I've got I'm accumulating a lot of stuff, and I know every day I'm taking a chance of somebody wandering on the property and stealing some gear. But until I can save up for a shed or save up for, whatever, then this is what I can do. Now, if you've been following me since the beginning of this journey, you remember when all this was just woods. I had everything in the back of that Commander. I still have my chainsaw and my weed eater with the circular saw on there, in there. But that's pretty much it. Everything else has been relocated here. It's peaceful out here. All right, so let me just throw all this stuff underneath, and I guess we'll call it a day. All right, guys. Well, there we go. I did use this tarp to cover the wheelbarrow, just because this I'm going to be using a lot to, grab sticks and move around and stuff like that. So, but all the tools are underneath. Got the pole right in the middle. There's a rubber piece on this pole to keep it from poking through. I'm sure within the next few months it'll wear down to the point where it'll poke, start going through, but it's a pretty heavy duty tarp. Got all these little trucker hitches on here, and over time I'll just come through, disconnect and retighten everything up. But for now, yeah, the space that I needed. I think what's next for the property is going to be just to continue burning. One thing that the builder said was to start clearing out where I want the house to go. And that's gonna be here. So all these trees will be coming next. I do want to organize this.